single underline, and my double underline, probably 2 and 3. 2, 3. That gives this 32x, and this a negative 3x. Does that give me 29? It sure does. Positive 29x. All right, so I've got the right answer now. And there it is. And it's 16x minus 3 and 1x plus 2. Those are my two binomials. Okay. Hopefully you got those right. Now, difference of two squares, new topic in factoring. Difference of two squares. A squared minus b squared. It's the difference of two things that are squared. The formula way of factoring this is that a plus b, a minus b. So a times a is a squared. A goes into the beginning of each, a plus and a minus, and b goes in the last spot of each. Now, I've got this list of the numbers 1 through 12 and the square of each and the cube of each. Whoa, the cube of each, didn't mean to do that. And that's going to be a handy table for you to have in your notes because then you can refer to it quickly to see if you can come up with what is what. Like, for example, 144 is a square and it's 12 squared. So often I will look at a problem like this. I know this is a square and this is a square and it's the difference. So what squared minus what squared? This can be helpful as a little tool. This is not factoring, but this can be helpful to get you to factoring. What squared gives me x to the second? Well, x. What squared gives me 144? 12. This is my A, this is my B. So x is the first thing, plus x minus 12 is the B part. So x plus 12, x minus 12. There is the answer to that factoring. Wasn't that easy? I bet you think you already know how to do this. Give those a try and see how you do. Unpause the video when you finish and you'll see it done out for you. All right, so in this first one, it's 4x plus 5, 4x minus 5. Now it doesn't matter whether you put the minus first and then the plus, that would be fine, it's not a problem. Over here, 9x plus 10y, 9x minus 10y, and there's your answer there. Now, many of you are going to say, oh, I know this one. It's x plus 5, x minus 5, and I have to say, I'm sorry, you're wrong. Then you're going to say, oh, it's x plus 5, x plus 5. Still wrong. X minus 5, x minus 5. Still wrong. This is not possible. You can't factor with integers the sum of two squares, only the difference of two squares. All right, give those two a try. See what you can do with those. Now let's see how you did. These are a little difficult because the exponents are not just a 2. So you may want to use this to help you. What squared gives you x to the 6? Now, remember, when you are multiplying, you add the exponents, right? So what times itself gives you x to the 6? Well, x to the 3rd, because 3 plus 3 is 6. Or you should also know that when you raise a power to a power, you multiply exponents. So x to the 3rd squared is x to the 6. 2 is squared is 4. y to the fourth is y squared. Squared is y to the fourth. So there is my a and my b. X to the third plus 2y squared. X to the third minus 2y squared. All right, now using that same thought process, this one should be 4x squared plus 1, 4x squared minus 1. Well, that's great, but isn't that difference of two squares? We can't do it with this one, that's a sum, but we can go another step here, and that one factors into 2x plus 1, 2x minus 1. Now, if you didn't get that, I would understand. So this comes down, and then this. Now, that's really what we refer to as factoring completely, where we look for things that could be factored more. We've done the factoring, and we look to see if we can factor it further. In this case, this one does, but in this case, it does not. All right, so that's difference of squares. Now, sum and difference of cubes. Now, with squares, we couldn't do the plus, the sum. But with cubes, you can. There's a formula, a cubed plus b cubed, a to the third plus b to the third, that factors into a plus b, a squared minus ab plus b squared. Now that seems very complicated, but it's really not difficult once you get used to it. And the difference of cubes is almost identical. They just switch these two signs. That's the only difference. The minus sign goes here and the plus sign goes over there. It's always plus b squared on the end. Whatever this is going to be here in the binomial, and the opposite sign is for your middle term in the trinomial part. So if that is true, let's take a look at this. Now you can refer to your notes to that first page when you go through this, but the very first thing we want to do is we want to say what cubed minus what cubed gives us these values. Now if you didn't write it down, you might want to go back to this. Oops, where did I miss it? Oh, there it is. Way back here to this slide to check. All right, cubes now. Here's our list of cubes. So you may want to make sure you have this in your notes so that it's faster for you to do. Now let's get back to where we were, right here. All right, what cube gives you 8? 2. What cube gives you x to the third? X. What cube gives you 125? 5. So my a is 2x and my b is 5. So when I factor this, it's a minus b, because this is difference. Then I do a squared, so 2x times 2x, 4x squared, plus a times b. Notice this part's not included down here. 2x times 5, 10x, plus b squared, 5 squared, 25. And there you have it. Let's give this one a try. What cubed plus what cubed? Now again, you may want to refer back to that list. 512, let's quickly flip back to that. Come on, faster. There we go. 512 is 8 cubed. 343 is 7 cubed. Let's see. 512 is 8 cubed. 343 is 7 cubed. X to the first raised to the third. Y to the second cubed is y to the sixth. Okay, there's my A, there's my B. Let's just extend that a little bit to make it easier. AX is my A, plus 7y squared is my B. 8x squared, 8x times 8x, 64x to the second. Now, minus is the sign in the formula. A times B. Well, 7 times 8 is 56, x, y squared. Finally, I have to do b squared plus b squared. This squared, 7 times 7, 49. Y squared times y squared is y to the 4th. There is my answer to that one. All right, you try this one. See if you can do it. Now that you've done it, x minus 5, x squared plus 5x plus 25. There's your answer. And that's it for today.